In a world obsessed with noise, silence has become the rarest form of power. We speak too soon, announce too often, and wonder why our dreams dissolve in the open air. But the masters of destiny, those who shape empires, movements, and inner worlds, understand a secret older than speech itself. Never tell people what you are building until the foundation is unshakable. Napoleon Hill hinted at it nearly a century ago. He called it secrecy of purpose. He knew that the mind, like a seed, cannot grow under constant exposure. Every idea, before it becomes reality, must first germinate in the unseen. Speak too soon and the warmth of enthusiasm evaporates. Protect it, and it grows roots deep enough to withstand any storm. Today, in the age of algorithms and instant validation, we have reversed this law. We mistake visibility for progress, attention for purpose, applause for accomplishment. But reality is not impressed by noise. It responds only to energy and execution. The universe doesn't listen to declarations. It listens to vibration. When you speak about your plans prematurely, you release the energy meant to build them. Words leak power. Dreams wither in the air of public opinion. Each time you explain your vision to someone who doesn't understand it, you let their doubt rewrite your code. This is not superstition, it's psychology. Every goal exists as a fragile network of belief before it becomes tangible. When you share it too early, that network becomes exposed to competing frequencies: skepticism, envy, dismissal. The subconscious interprets these as commands, and the result is hesitation, fatigue, loss of clarity. The mind does not distinguish between inner sabotage and external criticism. It simply responds to emotion. Every careless conversation is a small storm in the field of creation. The ancient mystics understood this law in symbols. They built their temples in silence, carved wisdom in stone rather than speech. The initiate did not boast about the mysteries, he lived them, because truth, when spoken too early, becomes entertainment. Only silence keeps it sacred. Silence is not passivity, it is incubation. It is the unseen phase where imagination fuses with intention. In this stillness, energy organizes itself into pattern. The wise do not rush this process. They know that premature exposure disturbs coherence. Like a photograph developed too soon, the image fades. So they speak less and act more. They choose conversations as carefully as architects choose materials. They understand that not every listener is an ally, and not every ally can understand. Great plans require solitude not because the world is hostile, but because creation itself begins in privacy. There is a strange paradox here. The more you value your work, the less you need to announce it. The ego craves validation. The spirit craves realization. The ego says, "Look what I will do." The spirit says nothing and simply does it. Modern culture worships exposure. We share our mornings, our meals, our meditations. We chronicle intentions before actions, mistaking publicity for proof. But genius moves in silence because silence is focus unscattered. What people call mystery is often just discipline. Look at the builders of history's revolutions. Tesla worked in secret while others sought credit. Da Vinci filled hidden notebooks with sketches never meant for the world to see. Newton spent years in isolation decoding cosmic law while the world ignored him. Each knew that energy, when concentrated, becomes unstoppable. When dispersed, it becomes gossip. Even in nature, creation hides its process. The seed grows in darkness. The caterpillar transforms unseen. The universe itself expands silently. No announcements, no press releases, just perpetual becoming. Yet we, impatient fragments of that same intelligence, want to reveal before we manifest. The truth is, premature exposure kills momentum. The mind gains false satisfaction from being admired for intentions. It tricks itself into believing the mission has already been accomplished. That dopamine is the thief of destiny. Once you've tasted external praise for something unfinished, your drive evaporates. This is why secrecy of purpose is sacred discipline, not secrecy born of fear but of respect. You do not hide your vision because others are dangerous. You protect it because it is divine. Your goals are not gossip. They are coordinates of destiny. Speak them only to those who strengthen belief, never to those who dissect it. Until the world can see results, let your silence be your fortress. When Napoleon Hill wrote Think and Grow Rich, he described desire as the starting point of all achievement. But he also warned, desire must be transmuted into action through persistence, not talk. Every word uttered about the goal without matching action weakens its frequency. And yet, silence alone is not enough. If you hide your vision but do not act, you are not preserving energy, you are wasting it. Silence is not stillness. It is focused motion. It means converting inner fire into tangible creation rather than scattered conversation. The path of mastery requires that you move like a shadow, visible only through results. Let curiosity replace explanation. Let progress replace persuasion. Let your presence speak louder than promises. There is a quiet power in the individual who doesn't advertise their journey. People sense it. They feel the certainty of someone aligned with purpose. You don't need to convince anyone. Your vibration does the talking. Silence then becomes a language of its own, the dialect of conviction. Remember, true power never shouts. Electricity hums silently yet lights entire cities. Gravity speaks through presence, not volume. The same law applies to human greatness. The immature mind believes success requires announcement. The mature mind knows success is self-evident. You don't need to tell people who you are becoming. They will recognize it in the structure of your results. Silence becomes revelation once creation is complete. In this way, secrecy becomes the scaffolding of destiny. It is what protects the idea during its most fragile phase. Once solidified, you can share not for validation but for service, to illuminate others on their path. The difference is motive. The first seeks energy from others. The second gives energy to others. So the next time you feel the urge to declare your plans, pause, ask yourself, do I seek connection or recognition? If it is recognition, return to silence. If it is connection, share only what uplifts. Words are energy signatures. Use them deliberately. Each sentence is either construction or corrosion. Each conversation either expands or drains. Mastery lies in knowing which is which. You owe no one an explanation for your evolution. Growth does not need permission. It requires protection. The most powerful transformations happen in private. By the time the world notices, you've already become the next version of yourself. Do not fear being misunderstood. You are not meant to be understood while transforming. A caterpillar explaining flight to worms would only invite ridicule. Move quietly, build privately, reveal strategically. Silence is not emptiness, it is incubation of destiny. Every master, every visionary, every silent builder of civilizations has lived by this law. Not because they feared judgment, but because they understood energy. Every time you speak of what is not yet formed, you mix its vibration with the frequency of the listener. If they cannot hold your vision, they lower its coherence. You begin to doubt, to explain, to justify, and every justification bleeds power. Power thrives in clarity, not explanation. Clarity comes from solitude. Solitude is not loneliness, it is calibration. The mind needs silence the way the body needs rest. You cannot hear intuition through the static of conversation. The deeper your silence, the louder truth becomes. There is a sound that only silence makes, the sound of alignment. You feel it when you stop arguing with the world and begin collaborating with destiny. You stop asking for validation and start receiving instruction. Ideas appear not as guesses but as downloads. The universe speaks fluently in silence. The path to greatness, then, is paradoxical. You must be visible enough to act in the world, but invisible enough to remain uncorrupted by it. You must learn to move in plain sight while your true work unfolds in dimensions unseen. This is what the masters of purpose understood. Your power multiplies when the world underestimates you. Your advantage lies not in what people know, but in what they never suspect. Every moment of stillness, every private plan, every unseen effort adds up to momentum that no critic can undo. You don't fight opposition, you outgrow it. You don't debate, you demonstrate. The quiet builder carries no need to convince because truth, once embodied, convinces by itself. People may doubt your words, but they cannot deny your results. Results are the loudest silence. This law extends beyond ambition. It governs relationships, art, even spirituality. Do not tell people your next move until the move has already been made. Do not broadcast your growth until it blooms effortlessly through behavior. Do not reveal your transformation until it's irreversible. The most beautiful truths, like seeds, grow best in the dark. In spiritual traditions, this principle is called sacred concealment. It's why initiates took vows of silence, not as punishment but as protection for awakening. Speech disperses energy, silence condenses it. The alchemist knows that transformation requires pressure, and pressure requires containment. The sealed vessel of your focus must remain closed until the gold has formed. You are the vessel. Your thoughts are ingredients. Your silence is the furnace. Your actions are the flame. Speak too early and the fire cools. Wait until the transformation completes and you emerge as gold incarnate, quiet, radiant, undeniable. In the modern age, secrecy has been misinterpreted as manipulation, but it is the opposite. It is reverence. You do not hide because you are deceitful. You hide because you are incubating something sacred. What you protect, you respect. What you expose prematurely, you destroy. This law is mirrored everywhere in nature. The pearl forms hidden inside the shell. The child grows in the womb. Stars ignite in cosmic darkness. Creation itself trusts silence. Why shouldn't you? The world teaches us to perform. Mastery teaches us to become. You do not owe the world your process, only your excellence. True humility is not shrinking. It's knowing when to speak. The wise share knowledge when it serves, not when it satisfies ego. They let results become their speech and silence their authority. That is why the most powerful presences often speak softly. The weight of their inner world does not need volume. Remember this: what you reveal, you give away. What you withhold, you multiply. What you protect, you manifest. So speak only when the structure of your purpose can hold the weight of scrutiny. Until then, build in the dark. Let the night become your workshop and silence your witness. Eventually, results will speak for you in a language no critic can translate. This is the hidden rhythm of creation: input, incubation, illumination. You inhale knowledge, retreat into silence, and exhale results. Talk disturbs this cycle, silence strengthens it. Napoleon Hill once wrote, "Tell the world what you intend to do, but first show it." He understood that talk is easy energy. Execution is sacred energy. Every declaration draws attention. Every action draws destiny. The difference between talkers and builders is where their energy lives. Talkers live in potential. Builders live in proof. The talker needs an audience. The builder becomes one with their purpose. You can feel it, the magnetic calm of someone who acts quietly. They don't chase admiration, admiration chases them. They don't explain plans, they embody them. They don't argue opinions, they demonstrate truth. This energy cannot be faked. It comes from integrity, from alignment, from the consistent habit of turning inward before acting outward. The universe rewards this coherence with precision. Doors open, timing aligns, help arrives. You begin to sense that reality itself respects those who respect their own silence. So guard your words like currency. Every sentence is a transaction with destiny. Ask yourself before speaking, does this expand or dilute my energy? If it dilutes, remain silent. If it expands, speak briefly and act deeply. Over time, you'll notice that silence amplifies perception. You'll begin to hear what others miss. The subtext in conversations, the energy behind motives, the unspoken truth beneath flattery. You'll learn that most people talk to hide insecurity, not to share wisdom. And while they speak, you build. This doesn't mean isolation. It means selective revelation. It means surrounding yourself with minds that add to your clarity, not subtract from it. A single aligned ally is more valuable than 1,000 indifferent listeners. Your power grows with each act of discretion. You stop explaining to be understood and start acting to be undeniable. You stop justifying your dreams and start realizing them. And in that shift, you cross the invisible threshold between potential and manifestation. When the time finally comes to reveal your work, do it not for applause but for impact. Let your results inspire silently. The world will call it sudden success. You will know it was years of sacred silence crystallized into form. This is the law of silence. Guard the seed, nurture the soil, protect the process, reveal the fruit. The impatient will talk about plans, the wise will grow forests. In an age where noise is the new poverty, silence is the new wealth. The more you cultivate it, the richer your mind becomes. In silence, you reclaim what the world constantly spends: focus, mystery, and power. Never tell people what you're building until it's built. Let your silence construct empires. Let your actions echo across time. And when the world finally asks, "How did you do it?" smile and say nothing, because the answer is already written in your results.